Welcome to A View from the Floor here at the New York Stock Exchange. I am joined by Robert Schein, Chief Investment Officer at Blanke Schein Wealth Management. And it's great to have you here all the way from California. Let's talk a little bit about the S&P 500. They are about to be 7,000, possibly ending the year. This is pretty extraordinary considering their performance in the past couple of years. How should investors interpret all this?
Well, performance has been strong the last few years, not just this year, which is welcomed by investors. And specifically, what we have about 9 days left of trading days. So I think we could hit that 7,000. The Santa Claus rally sort of kicked into gear this morning with positive CPI information. So that kind of helps the Fed moving forward. But investors should be thinking about 2026 and how they want to invest and allocate their portfolios.
What do you make of the market now broadening beyond big tech? How important is this shift, and where do you see opportunities going into 2026?
It's extremely important to see the broadening out, right? For the last 2, 3, even 4 years, all we've seen is technology lead the way. That's not a bad thing, but it can't be the only thing. So moving forward, we saw the rotation the last few months out of tech into other names and other sectors like financials and healthcare, that just consumer discretionary industrial. So all of that needs to broaden out, and that has to continue into 2026 for us to see sort of markets move higher once again.
Why do you think possibly if investors are over allocating their money market accounts, how could that hurt them in 2026 more than, say, volatility?
So we saw money markets were so far too, I guess, the best place for your money the last few years, if you will, just to keep your money on the sidelines and hang out and wait and get that 4%. That 4% is not there anymore. Banks not even paying 2% to 2.5%. So investors, you're going to have to think about their money market positions. I mean, we have got over 7 trillion to $8 trillion on the sidelines, both from the retail side to the institutional side. That will find a way where it's being better, better place for your money in 2026. So you're gonna have to look at all the assets, all the asset classes that will stay ahead of inflation. We still have inflation everywhere we go. So what you and I spend money on, I got kids in college. I got, inflation's double digit rate of return on the college side. So I still have to have that inflation hedge, or even on healthcare. So we have 76, million baby boomers. They spend all that money on healthcare every month, every year. That's double digit rate of inflation. So money market's not going to get you there. So you have to think about other asset classes that's going to help get you sort of ahead of the inflation game.
Monetary policy has been a topic of conversation this year. It's also going to be in 2026. There's going to be a new Fed chair. There's going to be a new makeup of the board. How is that all going to affect the new year?
A different look and a different Fed for 2026. And, there's all this speculation right now, what it looks like. The take home point is that the underneath the surface, the underlying data is still very supportive of the Fed. Whatever the composition is going to be accommodative. Now, historically speaking, when you have a new Fed chair, the bond vigilantes really take a test of sort of the constitution of the Fed and sort of where they're going to, line up and how they're going to handle what the bond market's going to give them. So I can see that could be a little surprise for 2026, and we have to keep an eye on that when we have the Fed changeover. But that being said, you're still going to have an accommodative Fed, and the job markets are really what's going to allow the cover for the Fed to keep lowering rates, and that's going to put a bid under earnings for corporate America next year.
Robert, thank you so much. Happy holidays to you.
Same with you.
And that'll do it from the New York Stock Exchange here. I'm Michelle Yu with Asset TV. We'll see you next time. Take care.